The following situation unfolded near a damaged railway line in the Donetsk direction after a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detected a Russian soldier moving alone along a shattered concrete road. The soldier walked with uneven, exhausted steps, suggesting he had either been injured or had recently escaped another nearby engagement. Drone operators monitoring the sector quickly relayed the coordinates to a nearby Ukrainian FPV team already operating close to the area. When the strike drone arrived, the soldier was still moving slowly down the exposed roadway, focused only on the path ahead and seemingly unaware of what was approaching behind him. The drone adjusted altitude, aligned with the road, and rapidly closed distance from the rear. Only in the final moments did the soldier begin reacting as the FPV drone accelerated forward and slammed into the position from behind. The operation begins near the tree lines in the Kremenna direction, as a Ukrainian FPV drone suddenly descends toward a concealed Russian Silok electronic warfare system hidden beneath camouflage near defensive positions. The drone closes distance at high speed and strikes the anti-drone equipment directly, clearing the area for the next stage of the assault and exposing the nearby bunker network to continued aerial pressure. Almost immediately, another Ukrainian drone moves toward a nearby bunker and enters through the exposed opening. Seconds later, smoke and flames begin rising from inside the position. As the dust slowly clears, two Russian soldiers emerge from the shelter and begin running across the damaged ground in visible panic. One of them stumbles during the escape, but both continue moving towards secondary defensive positions nearby. One soldier disappears into a bunker, concealed beneath heavy tarp covering, while the other drops into a trench line and hides inside a lower dugout. Moments later, another Ukrainian drone descends directly into the tarp-covered shelter, striking the entrance shortly after the soldier disappears inside. The surveillance drone maintains overwatch on both damaged positions, waiting to confirm whether movement continues below ground. Nearby troops begin reacting to the growing pressure overhead. Believing their own shelter is no longer secure, several Russian soldiers suddenly emerge and run toward another defensive position deeper along the trench system. At nearly the same moment, two soldiers positioned above ground receive warning from nearby troops and rush into a separate bunker for protection. Within seconds, another Ukrainian drone follows them directly into the entrance. Shortly afterward, an additional FPV drone descends into the trench dugout that had remained active moments earlier, completing the coordinated sequence of strikes against the interconnected shelter network. Near the Kherson Riverbank, a Ukrainian reconnaissance team received coordinates of a recently spotted Russian soldier moving along the shoreline. An FPV drone was redirected to the area and began scanning the tree line from low altitude. Within seconds, the operator noticed the soldier hiding behind a thick tree near the water's edge. As the drone closed in, the soldier attempted to resist and wave it off, but the reaction came too late. The footage was recorded months before its release along a remote dirt road, far from the heaviest fighting zones. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone tracked a lone Russian soldier moving slowly across the isolated route, likely exhausted from extended movement. After leaving the road, the soldier stopped beside a tree to rest, believing the area was temporarily safe. From above, drone operators confirmed he was alone and quietly guided another FPV drone toward the new position from behind. The approach remained undetected until the final seconds, when the drone suddenly accelerated toward the resting position beside the roadside tree. The following footage was recorded by a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone above an abandoned agricultural field near the Pokrovsk axis. From overhead, the camera tracked a lone Russian soldier moving across exposed terrain toward a nearby village, seemingly unaware that his position was being continuously monitored from the air. The route offered almost no meaningful cover, leaving the soldier fully visible as he advanced alone across the open ground. After confirming the movement pattern, Ukrainian operators relayed the coordinates and guided a second FPV drone quietly into the area from behind. Using distance and terrain to remain unnoticed, the aircraft gradually closed the gap while the soldier continued forward without any visible attempt to evade or change direction. Moments later, The drone accelerated across the field, and the engagement unfolded near the edge of the village approach. This scene was recorded some time ago in an exposed area near Pokrovsk, where strips of green grass cut through patches of burned and dried vegetation across the open field. During a routine surveillance mission, a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detected a Russian soldier moving slowly between positions. His pace appeared cautious but calm, suggesting he had not yet recognized any immediate danger overhead. At one point, the soldier stopped in the middle of the field and bent down to clean mud and debris from the bottom of his boot. From above, the drone operator continued monitoring every movement and quietly relayed the coordinates to a nearby FPV unit. While the soldier remained distracted beside the scorched grass, a second Ukrainian drone was guided silently into the area. The approach was measured and carefully timed. Only in the final seconds did the aircraft rapidly close the remaining distance across the open ground. The next situation unfolded at night near the Zaporizhzhia direction, where a Ukrainian bomb-dropping drone conducting thermal surveillance detected a group of 5 Russian soldiers hiding inside a shallow trench system and along the outer trench edge. After confirming the heat signatures, the drone repositioned directly above the area and maintained altitude while operators studied the wind and adjusted release angles for the attack. The drone remained high enough that the soldiers below never appeared to notice the aircraft overhead. None of them attempted to relocate, return fire, or leave the exposed trench line. Moments later, the first bomb was released into the center of the shallow position below. Following the initial strike, the drone shifted toward a soldier hiding near the trench edge and dropped a second munition beside the isolated position. As the smoke spread across the trench network, the drone circled back once more and released another bomb toward the remaining soldiers still sheltering inside the narrow defensive line. According to newly released footage, operators from Ukraine's 414th Separate UAV Brigade, widely known as Magyar's Birds, carried out a large-scale drone operation in the Pokrovsk direction. Over the course of a single day, more than 100 drones were deployed across contested areas to monitor and strike Russian infantry moving through open fields, abandoned terrain, damaged forest belts, and isolated defensive positions. The operation focused heavily on small groups and individual soldiers attempting to relocate between shelters while remaining outside armored support and electronic protection coverage. Throughout the footage, reconnaissance drones maintained continuous overwatch from varying altitudes, identifying movement almost immediately after soldiers leave cover. In several sequences, Russian troops attempt to break visual contact by changing direction, entering tree lines, or dropping into vegetation after detecting drones overhead. Others attempt to remain completely motionless, relying on camouflage, terrain depressions, or damaged structures to avoid detection. Despite these efforts, the drones continue adjusting position and maintaining visual confirmation from above. The footage repeatedly demonstrates how quickly infantry movement can become exposed under persistent aerial surveillance. In open terrain, soldiers have little time to react once spotted. Even inside dense forest areas, drone operators maneuver carefully through branches and obstacles while continuing to track individual targets with precision. Several scenes show drones circling above concealed positions rather than committing immediately, waiting for confirmation before moving closer. This controlled pacing allows operators to maintain pressure while limiting opportunities for escape or repositioning. The operation also highlights the growing tactical difficulties faced by infantry operating without sufficient air defense coverage. Electronic warfare support, or coordinated counter-drone protection. Once aerial observation is established, movement itself becomes increasingly dangerous. Routes between shelters, trench lines, and forest positions can quickly turn into visible corridors from above. The footage suggests that even temporary pauses, hesitation near cover, or attempts to relocate individually may expose positions under constant drone presence. Rather than focusing on a single engagement, the video presents a broader picture of how large-scale drone deployment is reshaping battlefield control around Pokrovsk. With dozens of aerial systems operating simultaneously across multiple sectors, surveillance, coordination, and rapid response are compressed into a continuous cycle that leaves very limited room for unnoticed movement on contested ground. Operators from the Phantom drone team of Ukraine's 60th Mechanized Brigade carried out a series of counter-drone strikes along critical supply and movement routes in the Donetsk direction. According to released footage, Russian FPV drones had been positioned in concealed roadside ambush locations, likely intended to target vehicles and troop movement passing through the area. Using reconnaissance support and aerial observation, Ukrainian drone crews began locating the hidden FPV systems one by one. After confirming the positions, bombing drones moved above the roadside locations and released munitions directly onto the concealed aircraft. Several strikes triggered secondary explosions as the hidden FPV drones detonated beneath camouflage and debris scattered along the routes. The footage highlights how both sides increasingly rely on hidden drone ambush tactics, turning even damaged roads and abandoned roadside cover into active aerial threat zones across the Donetsk front line.